I mean, hey, a lot of people do want Jameson Williams, and so like we could have two wide receivers, Williams as well.
Williams, yeah.
So it's possible, man. Yeah,
that would be wild. What do we have? Williams, Parham, and Parham.
There you go.
It's like we
Williams,
got
Parham, and Parham.
It's possible, yeah. Hey, it's trying to make it easy on the coaches so they don't forget names and stuff.
Yeah, right, man. Dang.
Well, I guess that's my problem, not a coach problem.
Hello, welcome, Bolt Bros, podcast where we talk about the Los Angeles Chargers, our favorite topic of the week, the year, the day, of any moment of any given time for us brothers here, right? And we talk about their opponents occasionally. Again, as you know, I'm Andrew, joined with my two co-hosts, Kyle and James. Let's give a little shout out.
Woo woo.
Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros.
And let's get into it. Let's go.
Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros.
Let's go.
Absolutely. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about our final mock draft choices, right? And kind of going into really our first, second, and third picks that we have set right now. But we wanted to talk a little bit about also that we are doing a live podcast for the actual first round draft on the 28th. We're going to be sending a link. Again, remember, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTubes, we're on all the tubes, we're on all the social medias, all the above. That's us, guys. We're out there. We want to have fun. We want to engage with you guys as fans, right? That's an extremely important thing for us, okay? So make comments, like, subscribe, share our posts, all the above. A couple of things I will say, too. We do want to give you a really interesting little tidbit or reaction video to the Psychic Predicts the NFL Team's Draft Future. It's really interesting because the more we've talked and read about mock drafts, my head's spinning. I don't know about you guys, but my head is just spinning. We are doing nothing but seeing odd picks here and there, and people move up and down the list. Right. It's crazy. So it's about as much predictable as a psychic reading your tarot cards. So we want to do a little reaction video on that, have a little fun with it, and then we'll go into our each of our live drafts of our first, second, and third picks. So let's get into it. Bolt Bros.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Bolt Bros.
Hi, guys. I'm Stacy over at the Laguna Beach Chakra Spa. And I am a 7th-generation psychic. Today we are having a reading on the Chargers.
I'm gonna have to go check it out. Yeah.
Draft night.
Ooh. Yes. I need to get my little places in here one of these days.
The new players for our team, we pick at 17.
I mean, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. She's pretty attractive, huh?
Well. The number 17 actually represents.
Oh, here we go. Oh, we got a little DJ. What's up, DJ?
The last 17 we had.
Yeah.
Unexpected. Let's go.
It's actually number 9. I don't know what the number 9 means, but I keep saying like the number 9 over and over and over again. So I don't know what that means. But I see 9.
She German? 9. What was that all about?
So
but did it say it was Stingley that you were looking at?
This person has a very good
it was Stingley.
This person has a very good sense of humor.
That's my boy.
People laugh.
That's your boy.
And this person just seems like he's a very strong-minded person. He's actually very spiritual, very intuitive.
Weird how they kind of talk about some of like personalities.
It seems like everybody's having like an adrenaline rush, because the energy that it actually says is that people are going to be very like overwhelmed, excited.
Look at Eck.
He's
like
so
I
good.
see other people that are connected in the I don't know how to explain it, like the NFL, like other teams, and it says that they have fear. They have anxiety. They're scared. They have fear. They're preparing for something, and they're scared.
They'll be shocked.
So I feel like for the Chargers, it's going to be very good for them.
They can't handle the electric fence.
Other people are afraid right now.
Right.
They got something up their sleeve.
Great.
This person's got a lot on their plate right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this person's traveling a lot right now, but it just says something about travel. Lots of travel connected to that name. This person seems like he's also, going through some transition in his life. He's a very loving person. He's very kind-hearted, very soft-hearted.
The injury.
And I feel like he's making
that was
sure
it right there. That was the
right
intro.
now.
That's it. Oh,
He's
man.
got a very good energy.
Classy, bro.
A very strong energy.
Yes.
Spiritually, it's this man. I feel like it's.
That guy's just a beast, man.
It says it's his time to shine.
Yeah,
Like
look at
this is
that.
his time to shine.
How
The big
fast he is.
dude, tough to
was
block.
Something big is
fast.
coming his way. He's
Yeah,
powerful.
we're going to pick him.
He
17.
got a lot of power.
Got
This
you.
man. Fire.
Yeah.
Spirit energy
See-
represents fire.
Yeah, Wyatt, I would be happy with either one
So
of
the
them.
judgment
Yep.
card is connected to that
I'd be
name.
happy with Penning, too.
And the judgment card, based
Man,
on
that
his
guy's fast.
energy,
Look at him.
represents that this man is in the middle
Yep.
of two different
Yeah.
worlds right
Gave him a
now.
little sauce at the end there.
He's at a
right.
crossroads, is what it represents for him.
Flag. Watch out.
He's nasty.
Did
I
somebody
think it
recently
works
just
both
get married?
ways, you know? Works both ways.
This is a player. This person has an amazing energy right now, and I
Yes.
feel like this
Slater.
is someone that's going
man.
to be very big. It says he
Think about
has
Telesco's
something
first-round
big to
picks.
do with
Always
everything
solid,
right
man.
now. There's
Yeah.
positive energy. There's a very
Always
white
solid.
light surrounding the team, and within now in the next 3 years, it actually seems amazing.
Bolt Bros!
If you want to see more content like
So is she saying that we're going to win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years?
Oh, you better believe it.
That's it.
No,
Yeah.
we're going to win it this year. We're going to win it this year.
This
It's
year,
happening.
baby. N-A-Z. N-A-Z.
Done.
Yeah.
Done and
Done,
dusted.
done.
Yep.
Robitussin.
No, we're done and dusted. We're not Robitussin. What the heck are you talking about?
Robitussin. So what's that got to do with anything?
You gotta get your ears clean, bro.
Man.
Nice.
Well, you know, I mean, that video is as predictable as what the draft could be. Who knows what the heck's going to happen here?
Exactly. Correct, right?
Exactly correct.
That's
Yep.
partially why we wanted to show you guys that, right? I mean, at the end of the day, guys, who knows, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how many mock drafts have we looked at this point, right?
Ad
Endless.
nauseum level.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Right?
just too much.
Every week, one moves up and down.
Yeah.
The draft boards. Oh, this team wants this person. This person's talking about trading up, trading back. Look, it's about as predictable as reading somebody's tarot cards or hiring a psychic at this point, right? You just kind of
True.
never know where it goes. And I think that's partially why I think Tom Telesco always has this thought of, hey, look, let's just pick best available and it'll all work out.
Yeah.
And that's worked out well. I mean, think about his first round picks. He's done great. Rashawn Slater last year, Justin Herbert, Derwin James, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, our first round pick is great because I'll be honest with you, I had in one of my mock drafts, I actually did a trade back with Green Bay. We'd get a first and a late second because they need wide receivers if Jameson Williams is there or maybe Alave or whatever. Aaron Rodgers needs some weapons.
Yeah.
Boy, it just didn't seem to gel well with what the Chargers need, right? I think that first pick is going to be really important for them, right? Because they need a guy to immediately impact the team.
Yeah.
And if they can get a guy like that, that makes a big difference. So that's my take on it, at least.
Definitely. We need someone that's gonna be able to hit the ground running right away.
Yeah,
Exactly correct.
Well, and that's exactly the point I was going to make. Is that I think what they're trying to find is players that can make an impact immediately in a championship-based player to make them stronger in a point of weakness. And it was interesting because she pointed out the number 9, and then the Chargers put as, oh, well, we're going to trade with the Seahawks, and we're going to get Derek Stingley.
Stingley.
I don't know, would we pick him at 9? I don't know, but what if it's a player we already have on our team? What if we look at K9, Kenneth Murray? That he's going to have a beast year next year,
Right.
And he's ended up being the linebacker we all thought he was going to be.
Yeah,
and so,
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Who
very true.
knows? Maybe that's what the 9 means. Maybe it's not trading down. And what would we trade down to get to 9 from 17? I mean, that could probably give up a lot of our draft picks, but
Well, I mean,
get the player we really want. Who knows?
What the 9 could mean to me is that actually I've kind of played around with this a little bit. That was a Seahawks pick on 9.
Yep.
I played around with the possibility of the Chargers trading down with the Seahawks, their 17th pick, for 2 of their second round picks, because they have 2 in the second round. I think it's 40 and 41 or something.
Right.
And we've talked about this a lot. That is a very deep draft, and I kind of played around with it a couple times. And there's some solid players in that second round that I would not be remiss to pick up.
Yeah,
So
and
that
again, we're casual fans too, right? And so we haven't looked at the second round as much as the first round. We've talked about first round a whole lot because we got one pick, right? And we're going to do a live episode on that.
Yep.
Tune in on the 28th, right? Of course.
That's right. Get that.
5+ hours of us being a live
Don't be long.
Yeah, and the future's looking bright for the the 28th. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, Bros merch, I like it. Yeah, but again, to your point, right? I think this draft is going to be extremely deep. So if we did trade our 17th down and get maybe 2 second-round picks, we could do great. We can get a nice maybe right tackle and then also another defensive lineman, right? If we really think we have, if we're splitting hairs on some of these guys, that might be an option that they'll go with in this draft. But we'll see. We'll ultimately see what happens. So it's exciting. So I guess we are going to be moving into the actual draft portion that we going through. So we're going to go through pick number 1, pick number 2, and pick number 3 of the Chargers. And we're going to do a little round robin for all of us. And we're going to go myself, James, Kyle in order.
Let's do
and then we're going to talk about our first pick on our mock drafts. Again, we did our own mock drafts. And we're just going to show you what our first 3 picks are. Yep. And we're going to justify why we got that pick and why and how and where it fulfills our needs at this point. My first pick in the NFL draft for 2022 is Georgia defensive lineman Jordan Davis.
Shocker.
Woo.
Shocker here.
Man, surprise. Jeez,
yeah,
I know, right?
Big shocker.
It's funny. I guys, and full disclosure, this is definitely my personal first pick. Of course, we've all talked about this. Look, I understand the negatives with him as well, but he's such a good guy. He's a good clubhouse guy. He's a guy that is just absolutely a monster in stopping the run. And again, when we talk about explosiveness and things that the Chargers need now, we need people to stop the run and make the other team one-dimensional. And I think Jordan Davis gives us that, right? And so, again, there's arguments back and forth about him only being a 1 or 2 round or 1 or 2 play guy, first and second, and not really a third down type of guy if it's a passing situation because he doesn't really get to the quarterback a whole lot. But here's my thing is that guy is a game changer for what we were absolutely horrible at last year, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible at stopping the run. He's a run stuff specialist, and that's what I think we need. So, again, heavily biased. We all know that, but he's my first pick.
I like it. I like it.
Big shocker there. Big shocker.
I know, right?
There.
I know.
That's what you've been talking about pretty much since the combine. Jordan Davis.
I don't care. I got a man crush on that guy. I got a man crush. Ain't no thing. I got a man crush on him.
Yeah.
I'll buy him big steak dinner. I'll be happy with it.
Right.
Hey, man, take him to Red Iguana,
That's right.
Well, it's in Salt Lake. That's a little hard from LA, but
right.
Hey, he's gonna go there. He can go hang out with Andy over there in Salt Lake.
Okay.
We'll bring him on the Bolt Bros podcast. I'll reach out to him.
Jordan, come on, hit us up
for this.
Hit us up, Jordan. Come on, man. Come on out.
And lo and behold, he's going to end up going to the Raiders.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Wait, they don't even have a first-round pick this year, do they?
Nope.
So with my pick, I'm actually going to kind of give you a little bit of story behind this one because I don't know if this is, and I don't know why people aren't talking about this position by any means. It's a position that I think is necessary for this team. And why I'm looking at this player is because the defense has so much talent in the front and the back end, but I feel the middle linebacker position is lacking a lot. Not saying Drew Tranquill's not a good linebacker, not saying that Kenneth Murray's not a good linebacker. I mean, we signed Troy Reeder. I get it. But, I don't really feel very comfortable with those guys because Drew's been injured. Kenneth Murray was injured. Troy Reeder's a pretty reliable guy, but is he really that playmaker, I guess? And so I did a couple different mock drafts just for the first 3 picks on PFF.com. Shockingly, this guy was there every single time at pick 17. So with my first pick, for the pick 17 for the NFL 2022 draft, James selects Nakobe Dean, linebacker of Georgia.
Nice.
I was Georgia boys.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it's another Georgia boy there. But, I was stunned to see him there because I was seeing a lot of mocks where he was kind of in like the top 10 to like early 10s. And for him to get to 17, I was like, whoa, like, am I wrong there? You know, Jordan Davis was available too at that pick, but I was like, I was looking at, I want more playmakers at the linebacker level.
Right.
And going back to the video that we showed too early on and how, you know, they were talking about number 9 and how I was saying maybe it's Kenneth Murray that she's talking about. Maybe he's going to have a really good year next year. I mean, maybe that's going to happen. I mean, once again, that's all hypothetical.
Right.
But when you got a guy like Nakobe Dean, just a fast guy all around, fast to the ball, good tackler, great in coverage, gets picks. Yeah. He's really good to get to the rusher too, gets sacks, like all over the field. He helps that entire middle of that field to work. He could be a coverage guy. He could be a rusher. Get to the running back, really good. I mean, having a great line with like Bosa, Mack, Day, Austin Johnson, and if Tillery starts too in that position, he's going to do well with us. And I think that's just adding another playmaker to that defense to make us be a little bit stronger in the middle of our defense. So that's my pick. What's your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, dude, I think he's fantastic, and he did pop up a couple times in my mocks as well, and like because I think he's one of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker in the draft, and like if he actually falls like down to 17 for us, I think we gotta get him. You know, like I mean, just like you're saying, is that like we're really kind of on the edge of our linebacker position right now. You know, so like I mean. We just need, and the biggest thing too is like I feel like we need some leadership in that linebacker position because like it seems like they're not doing as well as we want them to do. Like I mean, obviously they can obviously do better, and I do believe that they can do better. But let's like I want to see that happen before anything. You know, so.
Yeah, and even if you looked at like Kenneth Murray's highlights when he was at Oklahoma, I mean, he was like a very attacking kind of linebacker. Yeah. To get to the line, get to the running back, get to the quarterback, and I feel like he has not been able to do that very well being in the NFL. I mean, first year he had a ton of tackles. I think he had over 100 tackles. I think 1.5 sacks. But he was playing in a Gus Bradley kind of zone-based defense. Yeah. You know, I think now. We have the back end of a defense and a front end of the defense that could actually be very stout in their positions. Just adding that one guy that could come and rush in a little bit, help out with the run game, help out with getting a sack, help out getting pressure on the quarterback. I just think that would be a good all-around player needed. And obviously he could do well in pass coverage. I mean, he's got a couple picks and he does well with tackling and batting balls down. So I don't know. I think it would be an awesome player to have in the middle of the field for us in our linebacker core. Totally.
Yeah.
So, Kyle.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
So my pick is actually kind of interesting, I feel like, as well. Definitely probably going to be controversial to you guys, and besides some of the things that we've actually talked about. And I will say, like, I did the mock draft a couple times. And this guy was always available for us at 17. However, there was one time that there was an outlier guy that I was like, holy smokes, this guy would be amazing. And but I'll go into that one a little bit after. But for the first round of the NFL draft, I select Chris Alave. He's always been available for us at that pick when I'm doing those drafts, and I feel like the reason why I want to go into Chris Alave is because I really want to give Justin Herbert another weapon to throw to. Obviously I know we just signed Mike Williams, and we got just Palmer going there still, and we got Guyton, so we have some really good guys there already, but. At the end of the day, like the combine kind of proved that this is a very good opportunity to pick up great receivers right now. Like, and so that's why I'm saying, like, look, Chase over at the Bengals, he was a stud, and he like really just made that team, like Joe Burrow, actually even better than what he was. And I feel like he's got all the elements that we need to make that wide receivers core even like better.
Even better.
Yeah, even better. But the biggest thing is still too is that like I'm uncertain about Keenan Allen's future going into next season. I mean, he's getting older. He's turning 30 this year. I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I'm sure he's got all the speed, and he's still got the like one of the best route running out there, and so he's still gonna be able to do his job. But the problem is, I feel like we may have some salary cap issues with him next year, and
also with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, with Justin Herbert and Derwin James.
And Derwin James, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just I think we need to get someone youthful for that position. So now I was going to say, too, is like the outlier that, when I was doing all these drafts, Drake London was available at 17. And 100% I had to pick him that round. And so I was like, oh, my gosh, please give me him. Yeah. So
that guy's ridiculous.
The crapshoot of the draft. Yeah. You never know, dude.
Exactly.
You never know.
It's a roll of the dice. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on Chris Alave?
And I understand what you're saying, and that's a thing we have to think about next year also too. We have to think about the contracts coming up. We have to think there are some players that have to get left out of the plans, and it's Keenan Allen's been with us for such a long time, and he's a great player, and but age does catch up to people. I'm not saying that he's really old by any means, but at the same side, we start thinking, how much does this guy cost? And could we get some draft capital out of him? Could we get somebody else in that position? Sure. We have huge contracts coming up.
Right.
So it's not bad. And Alave is a great player. I mean, Ohio State guys generally do pretty good. And I think that he comes from a good program. And he had some great highlights last year, too. So,
yeah.
And remember also, next year the salary cap is going to increase as well, too.
Yeah, true.
So... I think they'll make it work, right? And it's one of those things where, I mean, look at how much money Derek Carr got paid, right? Crazy. He's maybe a top 15 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And he's just getting paid crazy money, right? And so, and so it makes me scared for Herbert's contract coming up. Right. So that's a good way of thinking about the things coming. And, hey, we got Josh Palmer. Guyton's done well. I mean, we have a lot of depth in that position, but having more is always a good thing too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's go into our first third-round draft selection, and then we'll go to James and then Kyle again for our next pick. Third-round draft pick, the Chargers select Killen Disic, tackle for Arizona State.
All right.
We talked about him in the past, right? I know we've talked about it in some of our mock draft kind of highlights. He's just a good overall tackle, right? Very highly recruited out of Texas, 4-star recruit, went to ASU. Very good. There's some pros and cons with him. Again, when you start looking at third rounds, you're starting to get some guys with shorter arms, certain things that they do well, certain things that they don't do great. But he's a good overall depth pick and a potential starter for us next year. And I think that's kind of what we need, because if we don't sign Obushi, again, I don't think he's on the table anymore, or he still hasn't been signed, from my understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, again, our right tackle, who knows? I don't know that he'd really be the right tackle spot for us as well, too, but I think no matter what, he'll give us more depth across the line. If they move Filer over to the right side, maybe they can move this guy in on the left side with Rashawn Slater. So I think some depth is kind of what we need on the line. But so that's my pick. I know he's definitely, from everything I saw, is a very good overall pick. So that's my thoughts on him.
Yeah.
It's just, if we go into the season right now and we have Storm Norton at the right end, everybody's going to be just ripping their hair out.
Exactly.
And that's for damn sure. Yeah.
I have a lot of memories of him just trying to reach to grab somebody to not allow him to get to Herbert, and it's just getting dominated. So, I mean, we have to look at that position one way or another, and we have to get somebody else there. I mean, once again, maybe I'm the weirdo here, but I mean, you kind of do look at Trey Pipkins too, and he did play well.
He played great.
What's not to say that he ends up being that right tackle, but or at least getting a shot at it. So who knows?
It will definitely be a tryout, right? They're going to look at everybody, and so. Again, partially the reason why I said this guy, he was very good, very athletic. He's played all over the line. He was a center at one point. He's moved kind of all up and down the line. Again, these linemen get hurt, right? They are in the trenches, and so you need depth, right? Hymas could step in, Pipkins could step in, Storm Norton can get moved around. There's a lot of things that we need. We need versatility on the line. Is kind of my point with this pick.
Right.
Makes sense.
Well, yeah. At the same time, though, too, is like my thoughts is that however everything lands for the draft, the only thing that I think is that might happen is that they could move Filer over to that right side to help it out some more. So go from that left guard to the right guard or maybe tackle, and then really just help out that whole side entirely.
Yep.
Sure.
So.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, all right. Well, James, you're up.
This one was kind of an interesting pick. Kind of came out of nowhere. I think he was kind of really slated more as a second-round pick, and I was really thrown off. And he came up a couple times in my mock drafts on PFF.com. Really strange. But with my third pick for the NFL draft, 2022, with my third pick, let me go back on that. So with my second pick in the third round for the 2022 NFL draft, James selects Jamari Salyer, offensive tackle from Georgia. So once again, I chose another Georgia guy. I guess I really want to go with these Georgia boys.
That's right.
Here, for sure.
We love our Georgia boys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, watching highlights of this guy, just reading about who he is, the guy's 6'3", 321. He played a lot on the left tackle position, so he has that ability. He has played down the line, too.
Yeah.
So he kind of has played right guard, left guard.
Yep.
So if we are still looking at Filer potentially going to right tackle or whatnot, he could kind of fit into different positions for us.
Yeah.
Once again, having that versatility is key as an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And this guy is just an absolute stout dude. 31 bench reps that he did at the combine.
Oof.
Just it's ridiculous.
Super dependable guy, too. Great job on the line and off the line. Really great pop with the rush game, too. He could run outside with a screen game and just, who wants to get in front of a 321-pound dude?
No. It's going to bruise people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to maul some guy. Poor guy.
Totally.
Cornerback is not going to want to get at that guy when that dude's a $188, running in the outside.
Yep.
Soaking wet.
Yeah. So, he's a good swing tackles, screen game kind of guy. One stat that kind of popped out that I was like, man, that's amazing. In his 3 years being at Georgia, he only gave up 1 sack on 800 pass attempts.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible to think about.
That's pretty epic. Yeah.
That's a fantastic, fantastic stat. And then he had one of his best games was against Aiden Hutchinson, the DN from Michigan, too.
Yeah, okay.
So what that kind of reminds me of a little bit is our first-round pick last year, Rashawn Slater, when he talked about his highlight game was against Chase Young.
Yeah.
And so kind of makes you think dude, this could be that guy again for us in the third round for us, who for some reason I thought was supposed to be in the second round, that we could just have that right line just being absolutely a strength again for our team.
Yeah.
And so one thing that was interesting, and just last point here, I guess I'm selling you guys on this dude.
Yeah. Apparently so.
Yeah. On Yahoo Sports, they said one line about him as one of his strengths. He says he's a power player who seeks to exert his will on the opponent. I like that. That's
awesome.
I want to see a guy who could just throw somebody around. Maybe it's kind of like Trevor Penning and how everybody sees the aggressiveness from him. Yeah. But I want to see a guy that could just basically just take some dude out and completely get him out of the play. So that's my pick for the third round.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like it a lot too. And the interesting thing too is that when he started in 2019, he was actually more of a right guard, right tackle on that side, and he actually did way better that year than he did with this recent year. So a lot of people might not be seeing that and on the boards and stuff, and so he would actually be a really good pickup for us as well for that right side because he knows all that stuff as well, because like you're saying, he's played all up and down the line. Like they kind of just like swing him everywhere, and so yeah, I think he's fantastic. And yeah, I really like that pick a lot for third round. And if that, like you're saying, I think he's probably more gonna be a second round pick. But if he's available for us at third round, oh yeah, baby, we got to get this
all
dude.
Day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Take him.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Take him.
Yeah.
So
we'll definitely see some value in the third round for sure, across the board. They'll be good players.
Yep.
It's odd that I didn't even take anybody in the defensive line in the first 2 rounds, though.
No kidding.
But looking for strengths in areas that I feel we need more players.
All right.
And I feel like those are the 2 areas I was looking at: linebacker and right tackle.
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
Kyle.
Yeah. So for my so my pick is actually pretty good. I think I think a lot of people have actually picked this guy in other mocks and other pods and discussions and stuff. So he regularly pops up as available in these mock drafts and stuff. But for my second pick in the third round of the NFL draft, I select Dylan Parham, a guard from Memphis. And yeah,
I had him in a couple of my drafts too.
Yeah. So dude, honestly, he's actually a stud. Looking at his stats, he's been also kind of like Salyer, where he was all up and down the offensive line. 2019 he was a left guard. 2020 he was a right tackle. 2021 he was a right guard. So he's definitely favored on that right side already. So he knows those movements and he knows that well. So I feel like 100% he can easily just get right into our scheme and do well at it. In fact, in 2020, that was one of his best years. He only allowed 1 sack, 2 hits, and 6 hurries that year. And aside from that, the dude can move. He's an athlete for actually being 6'3", 311 pounds, which I think is probably I want my offensive lineman to be at least 300 pounds. So there's a couple people that I've seen on my other mocks where they're like, they're guards and they're tackles and stuff, but they're like under 200. I'm kind of like, I need you to be a little bit beefier. We need that. We need that butt and gut. Yeah.
Yeah, immovable.
Immovable objects for sure.
That's right. That's right.
But
Parham's a solid choice. Yeah. He really is. And I guess this kind of just highlights where this draft is going, right? It's really interesting because this draft doesn't have a lot of good quarterbacks in it. They have okay quarterbacks, but they have better depth across the board. Sure. Defensive linemen, tackles, running backs, wide receivers. Those are and then linebackers, those are the premium players, and safeties, right? But it's really strange that this is a very quarterback low draft. And I know there were some people talking about that, like, well, how many quarterbacks are going to be selected before 17? Yeah. That's going to really determine how many people fall specifically to the Chargers.
Yeah.
And so it'd be really interesting to see how that all plays out as well, too, for sure.
Well, we have 2 Parhams on the offense. Sounds like we're at a law firm now.
Parham. Yeah, that's right. No, I thought about that as well. I was like, well, I mean, hey, a lot of people do want Jameson Williams, and so we could have 2 wide receivers Williams as well.
Williams, yeah.
So it's possible, man. Yeah,
that would be wild. What do we have? Williams, Parham, and Parham.
There you go.
It's like we
Williams,
got
Parham, and Parham.
It's possible. Yeah. Hey, it's trying to make it easy on the coaches so they don't forget names and stuff.
Yeah, right, man. Dang.
Well, I guess that's my problem, not a coach problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me go into the our third selection of the 4th round of the NFL draft, and the Chargers select Tyler Algier, halfback out of BYU.
There you go.
And
there you go.
Again, my mock draft is a bit of home cooking here to some degree, and a lot of people could say you could probably pick him later in the 4th round, which could probably be the case. But I think that he would be an extremely great running back too, right?
Yeah.
A nice switch up from Austin Eckler, who's more of a finesse back.
Yeah.
And Tyler Algier, and again, a lot of people don't know this about him. I mean, he's moving up the draft chart pretty heavy. And he was a converted linebacker. He played some running back in high school.
Yep.
And, BYU had a need for running back, and they said, hey, why don't you try it out? And he just became a bruiser. And he was one of those guys that the yards after the catch was a big thing for him, right?
Sure.
He would hit people, and he would keep moving.
Yep.
And so, again, I think he's an excellent selection. He would be an excellent running back 2 option for Austin Eckler. And I saw him play a lot last year, and he's got plenty of talent.
Yeah, totally.
And so I think he would be an excellent selection at round 4, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love him. Like the thing that I love the most about him is that he's like, I think I mentioned it before, but yeah, it's not just yards after catch. It's about yards after hits with me.
Yes.
Like he straight up he takes some licks and he keeps on kicking, man.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like,
he's a bruiser back.
Yeah.
Gets those tough yards. Those tough yards.
Really
that's
tough yards.
And that's not what Eckler does. Eckler doesn't do that. And I think another compliment, again, does it have to be Algier? No, but another running back like that would be very good for us. Yeah. And I was thinking about this too. What if they made like a bunch of 2 running back sets, right? You don't see that very often in the NFL anymore.
We don't right now, yeah.
You have the 2 running backs on the back there. Boy, who's it going to go to?
Right.
You could do some repass options, some RPO next year. Is it going to go to Algier? Is it going to go to Eckler, right? Is it going to go right or left? I think that's a really cool option. I just think it would be great. I think it would open up the offense in a very different way, right? Because we all know that, Justin Herbert can run, right? Some RPO would be a really cool thing to put in the mix a little bit as well too. So, anyways, just some thinking out of the box there for that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. I mean, that's a home cooking pick for you for sure. But I mean, the thing is though, man, he had a great stat line. I mean, 270 attempts or 276 attempts, 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns. Even had some catches. I mean, he could be that good complement RB too. And so, I mean, the thing is, though, my fear is always injuries coming around. If Austin Eckler goes down, we need a guy to fill that position so we don't become one-dimensional.
Right.
So, not to say you can't make Herbert run, but we don't want to see Herbert getting hurt either. So
very true. Yeah, very true.
So I think that's a very, very good pick. And, I mean, is Roundtree the guy? I don't know yet. And Kelly, we that could be one of those cuts or a practice squad guy. So who knows where he's going to go. So I like it. It's a good pick. Good pick. All right. I'm going to go with my pick. It's so this is kind of going back to what Kyle originally chatted about in the first round.
Okay.
Kind of going back to that point. I mean, I get a little worried about Keenan Allen next year. Age comes in, age creeps in, body gets slower. I'm in my age where it's like I think I'm fast, but my body tells me other things. So I think that this is kind of one of those things that you kind of think about. High salary, do we move on with him? I don't know. I know we get more salary cap next year, but we got big contracts coming up. So who I'm going to pick, so with the 3rd pick in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, James selects Kyle Phillips, wide receiver from UCLA.
Ooh, nice.
Yep. Dude, it was crazy. This guy kept coming up in 4th round for me, and I was thinking, whoa. The thing that's cool about this guy, almost for size, speed, route running, even models his game off of Keenan Allen. It was one of the guys, and also Devontae Adams was another guy he said too. I mean, he just seems like he's highly productive as a player. Right, and I think he was at either the East-West Shrine game or the Senior Bowl. I'm not sure which one, but there was a lot of hype about him and him making excellent catches. And so it was interesting as a comparison. If we were to say if we did end up moving on with Keenan Allen, I mean, we all love Keenan. He's been with the team forever.
Yes.
And it's weird to even talk about it, but his 40 speed Kyle Phillips was 4.58. Keenan's was 4.56 when he came into the NFL.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
Size-wise, about exactly the same. Looks very, very similar to him on the field and everything. How he runs routes, everything.
Okay.
The other bonus of him, though, is that he had a lot of punt returns, too, that he ran back for touchdowns.
Oh, nice.
One other thing I could say, I feel he's a little bit more shifty than Keenan Allen.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel he's not a guy that actually is easy to get tackled. He's got a little bit more body control, in my opinion, and has a little bit more extra effort after the catch. So
yeah,
that's my guy. For
a little more like Hunter Renfro. Hunter Renfro,
right?
Cooper Kupp kind of guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And Hunter Renfro was a late round pick too.
Yeah, he was.
That guy has flourished, and that guy still looks like a $180 wet. And he's a great route runner, man.
Yeah.
I mean, good hands. Jeez, but I think he would be a phenomenal pick. If we don't pick him up, I guarantee the New England Patriots are going to pick him up. Perfect fit for what they love.
Yeah.
Very true.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yep, very true.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Yeah, no, I've seen him on a lot of my drafts as well. Like but because I typically have been picking wide receivers first, I didn't get him as well. So but yeah, no, I really like him a lot. Like, and I feel like he's really good at against man coverage as well. So like that's like what you're saying. It's like he's good at that route running. Jukes out him a little bit. Like kind of makes them kind of pause or whatever to get that separation. So yeah, like I have been comparing him a lot to Cooper Kupp in my own opinion as well. So like and that would be phenomenal, dude. Like
Dang. We get a Cooper Kupp in 4th round, I'll take it all day. All day.
How do we make that happen? How do we make that happen?
Hey, you know what? We
got to trade for that fool.
Yup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a great pick. So.
Andy, you have any thoughts on that one?
No, I agree. I think depth in the wide receiver position is always a good thing, right?
Cool.
I think the draft you need to continue having people come in that can make veterans stronger and continually make the team better, right? And you cannot look at practice squad guys and say, well, they're not that important. No, they're very important. They make the team on a weekly basis better.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. It's always good to have more deep depth and talent. Staley talked about that last year. That's what really hurt us.
Yeah.
So
totally.
we got to do it in the draft.
Yep. I agree.
Or who's
Kyle,
your final pick here, Kyle?
All right. So, I'll just kind of preface this to kind of give you guys a little hint. I've actually pretty much went heavy offense my entire draft.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just because I felt like the entire the off season we addressed heavily the needs that we needed to address for defense, and I kind of felt like I was pretty solid on those. I'm like, I think we're good. Yeah, obviously we do need to have some more depth or whatever, but I feel like looking at our current roster, all of our depth is on the defensive side right now. Like we're really lacking a lot on the offensive side. So with the 3rd pick of the NFL draft, I feel like the Chargers are going to select Rachaad White, a running back out of Arizona State, the Sun Devils. Yeah. So I'm going that deep in order to pick up a running back. I would have liked, for sometimes actually Tyler Algiers did fall onto my into that round for me, but this time it didn't happen. This time, like it was like a 10% chance or whatever. So, but I would have picked him up as well if he was available because I just love that guy. But yeah, no, he had a pretty stellar year. Some of his career highlights, were like just really it was just a solid year in 2021. And he is a 2nd year senior because there was that kind of gap year for 2020.
COVID.
COVID and stuff. And he's actually kind of big too. He was 6 foot tall, 214 pounds. And maybe if he gets a little bit bigger to push him that way, he might be able to be a little bit like the guy from the Titans, Derrick Henry. So just really just pound through people, that a lot,
And I think to your point, we need a bruiser back. We need a guy to switch things up, be a different type of running back over Austin Eckler. Because Austin Eckler's a finesse back, so a bruiser back makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, he had a stellar year. He had a 1,000-yard year. 15 touchdowns. He was targeted on receptions like 43, and he 48 out of 43 receptions. So he's got hands. He's got everything that we need for that. Like just saying, as well. As he's a bit bigger than Eckler, and he can maybe take some more hits and just pound in when he needs to, as a solid RB2 option, because we don't have one right now besides Justin Herbert.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I obviously I live in Arizona, so I've been to a lot of ASU games, and he was one of the guys that was always a hype guy on the offense. I mean, Jaden Daniels was the quarterback, and he was abysmal as a quarterback, especially last year. I mean, the year before he was average, but he was not good at all last year, and then he transferred out of ASU. And really the highlight of that offense was Rachaad White. And he's kind of an all-around back, so he could run the ball, he could catch the ball. That's what we need to have as an RB2. Yep. It brings me back to the LT Michael
Turner. Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
You had the Lightning out of LT, and then you had just the strength and hammer out of Michael Turner.
A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. Yeah.
So I mean, this guy could be that dude. I mean, he's got a great height. I think he could probably add a little bit more weight, in my opinion. But most solid backs are usually like 220 and above, but this does add a little bit more weight to that position. So I like it. Good pick. Great pick. Man, we've had a couple mock drafts here where we picked up ASU guys. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Good to see.
Yeah.
Good to see.
It's good to see.
Yeah, I like that pick too, Kyle.
Yeah.
But it also just shows you, and we can start wrapping here as well. And, this draft really is about depth, right? And again, we're splitting hairs, right? We're talking about, okay, I think a lineman we need better. We need a defensive line. We need a tackle. We need this and that. I think it really boils down to a lot of different things, right? And this draft specifically is really cool in that regard because there's so much depth in so many positions, which I think is awesome. So I think bottom line, we'll find some great value, and Telesco's done a great job of finding value. And I think, again, even last year, right, we did really well. I mean, Nick Niemann's a person that comes to mind. Niemann did really well on special teams. Yeah. He's one of our backup linebackers as well. But is he really the guy that's going to step in and be our guy full time? I don't know. Yeah. But, it's really great to see this draft is 100% about depth.
Sure.
Filling one or two major holes.
Yep.
And then just going forward with our veterans that we've already selected and we've gotten, through free agency this year specifically. So, so I guess, James, we'll go to you. Final thoughts, and then Kyle, and then we'll wrap.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost ditto to what you said. I mean, this is a draft to build more depth. I mean, it goes back to that Texans game and how we just got destroyed because showing our weaknesses of depth. And
for sure,
that's really, we just need to find those extra guys on our team to fill those gaps. And I'm just going to give you kind of a little bit of a late round pick that I think would be a fantastic. And once again, we only did the first 3 picks, so I'm going to say, hey, if this guy's available in the late rounds, which it seems like it's been that way, but I would pick up, and we talked about running back just recently, I went for Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. 6'2", 228 guy, thrives off of hitting off players, runs well between the lines, really physical back, good stiff arm.
Nice.
Great year last year. I think he could be a great addition to the team. And just one little, and I'm a stats guy, things that I see where our weaknesses are, I want it to be a strength on our team. We always had a lot of issues at the goal line with our running backs fumbling the ball, right?
Right.
Eckler, Kelly, Roundtree, those guys aren't like power backs per se.
Yeah.
So this guy has had no fumbles in his career in 3 years. I'm good with that. He's not the fastest dude.
That's awesome.
But hey, let's go with that guy. And he had 1,300 yards, 20 touchdowns last year. Go with it. So I'm good with him. If he's a 5th round, 6th round kind of guy, take him. And he's from a big school that went to the playoffs. I'm in. Go for it. So Great. I'm looking forward to this draft for sure. Yeah. And it's going to be an exciting one. And looking to add players like this gets me excited. And the thing is, though, nobody really looks at the late rounds generally because they don't really expect much out of them. But
True.
It's kind of fun to be able to sit here and look at these players and think, man, you could get a guy like this in 5th round that could be a great added depth stud for us.
Right.
And potentially could fill in when somebody gets injured or Ucla gets injured. So
yeah,
exactly. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, totally.
Kyle, what do you think?
Well, yeah, and my thing is with this draft is obviously it's a very deep draft. We've beat that like a dead horse because there's so many more players available here, and I think that honestly we're gonna find some undrafted people that are gonna be studs as well. I can 100% believe that. And one of the things that I guess, going on what James was saying is that I feel like also so actually go later in the rounds, and why it's a deeper draft is kind of why I went later into the rounds for defensive players because we have so much veterancy on that side right now. One of the guys that I picked up later, it was which pick was this one? Round 6 actually. Was Curtis Brooks, a defensive lineman, and he was a stud over at Cincinnati. And a couple other random guys, obviously, like we talked about last episode was Sean Jolly. I definitely did like him a lot. And then Jatari Carter, actually, it's both those guys are some other players that I kind of would like to pick up as well. But yeah, let's roll the dice. Let's hopefully we get something pretty nice on the 17. Hopefully we get another Derwin James type player, and just freaking bolt the F up, baby.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. One of my late round draft choices was Matt Ariza from San Diego State, right? I picked him up.
Somebody had to choose him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and again, right, yeah. and you think about this though, right? The cool thing about him, and this would be our last thoughts on this, is that I think with him specifically, you have a guy that can kick the ball down the field as deep as he can. Mm-hmm. He's a real weapon for your defense, right? Yeah. He's an extension of your defense, and that's the beautiful part about him, right? And I think with him, it would make sense, and he will be the first punter taken off the board for sure. Yep. Sure. I've seen people say 4th round. I've seen people say 5th round. So it really will be interesting to see where it goes. And they've talked about him a lot in the Chargers. So it will be interesting to see where it goes. And so he's kind of my guy. He's sort of my sleeper pick that I think could happen because there's been so much discussion about him. And again, we got a good defense this year, right? We should have a better defense this year, like by a long shot. I mean, some people are predicting us to have a top 5 defense in the league.
Heck yeah,
so. Baby. And we should, right? You think about what we have. You got that guy as your weapon. Late rounds, you get him at maybe 5th round potentially. Boy, could be huge.
Yeah, could be huge. Could be amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Bull Bros. I will say this, guys. Remember to listen in on the 28th. We are going to do a live broadcast of the first round draft. All the medias, right? The gram, we on YouTubes, we on the tubes.
Yeah.
We on TikTok, all the above.
That's
right? We on it all. So hey, look, follow us wherever you want us, right? I mean, we're getting love on all kinds of platforms. So, again, please rate, review, make some, hit some like buttons, subscribe, make comments, guys. We want to hear your feedback. Say what you like, say what you don't like. You did this good, you did that bad. Let us know, right? Yeah. We're here to improve our channel. And again, we want to engage with the fans, right? So we're really excited. This is our first live podcast that we're doing for the draft. But again, drop a like, subscribe. I'm your host, Andrew, with my 2 brothers, James and Kyle.
You
kind of far banter at the end.
Yeah. That was not as enthusiastic as you hoped, I think.
It's all good.
But again, guys, thanks for listening. We the Bolt Bros. We out of here. Let's get it.
Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Bolt Bros.
Go.
You know what? And if we get if we get like a 1,000 likes on this, I'll send some out to some people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got you.
I got plenty, yo. I got plenty.
We got a giveaway going now.